This is a 10 minutes video marathonic. I'm bombarding after bombarding. You'd never know actually what actually happened. And that is why I'm traumatized and I want to come online to deliberate on this matter that hit the entire continent and the reason why it is happening, and nobody knows actually what the solution to this. One thing, living abroad as an expatriate or as a person from Africa, it's very horrific. You will fight with the trying to create identity around you, which is a milestone for many. Can you imagine being told to remaster your master's degree or redo your bachelor's degree, you know, so that you can meet the standards? What does it mean? It really gives you, demoralization, and that is what many of our African brothers are going through when they relocate to, they call green pastures. To get there, one thing is a hassle because authentication process by the immigration officers at the embassies is something tedious and not many manages to go through, especially if you're going to United States or to UK and 7G states, you know what I'm talking about. And also at the same time, when you reach there, you're struggling with identity crisis. In Europe, yeah, those are civilized societies and nobody wants, baggage of the continent or people who are coming from emerging markets. To look for a place to stay is a hassle at the same time. You cannot easily find a legitimate owner who follows the rules and regulations of the real estate, granting you permission to stay in his residence just like that. And he knows very well you're from Africa. Where Africans are struggling abroad to create identity and craft a streaming, economic handle that will actually prove they came there for that, those opportunities are diminishing. One thing, I take you 2 points behind. Education qualification disqualifies you because you must have the license to practice your area of expertise. And for you to have that certificate, you have to go to dig back deeper into the books. You are downgraded. And you don't hear, you still want to run there and leave a lucrative opportunity in career in Africa to go and stay in a confined apartment where loneliness is the order of the day, because in the Western world nobody cares about you. If you don't care about yourself, nobody cares about you. What you're doing, where you are, and for how long, nobody minds about that business. It is all upon you to adapt, and the culture shock and intimidations, it actually makes you feel like you are threatened. If those people who are in Europe or in America can openly frankly tell you the reason why they don't want to stay there anymore, but they have the stigma of not accepting things are not working, is enormous. Can you imagine coming back to the continent, to the people who have hospitality, people who are, giving you the esteem and the cluster or the class you belong to? The entitlement of a doctor in Africa continent is overwhelming. The respect in society, but in the Western world, doctor is nobody. It is just like any other person. You're not into entitlement. But you want to go there to be looked down. Someone has to supervise your work now and then to prove exactly you are professionally trained to do the work, and you are paid more hours and less social life. In the continent, people are integrated and they are hospitable and they like dialogues. It's very rare to find an African man or person of the melanin skin in particularly in the continent, as your neighbor, and he doesn't wake up in the morning and greet you, how are you, my neighbor? In case of any slight commotion, you are living as community, and he will check on you and you will check on him. But in the Western world, the only neighbor you have is someone you have never seen for 10 years. Like me, I have never seen my neighbor. I don't know him. I just hear the dogs. And I hear that he opens the gate and close and go. And then sometimes he comes, sometimes he doesn't. You only see the people working for him. Sometimes you don't even see them. Because corporations, they're doing the domestic, services like loaning the glass, the compound, cleaning and all those things, pest control and all those types of things. You only see a car comes in, comes out. That's all. That guy will never know. He's not even interested to know. In case of any commotion or security threat, he has the security company he is subscribed to on monthly basis. Panic button is just next to him. CCTV cameras are linked to, his security company. That's how he protects himself. But in Africa, if there's commotion, you scream loud. People comes out and you help one another. Why are we struggling with identity crisis in abroad? People in Africa, they were given the narrative, US or UK is the best place. If you don't manage to go there, your life will not be anything. When you go there, those who are there, they are segregated, they are suffering. If you try to convince someone in the continent, build yourself here, hey, I want to Japan, I want to go to US, I want to go to, to do what? You think you're going to be able to extract money out of economy that is managed society and the corporations have taken over, where they need to you need to identify yourself who you are in order for you to render any service, through licenses and qualifications. You think you can pass those tests? And then it's not like in the continent whereby you can determine how much money you want to earn in any profitable business or in employment. You have the options. There you have standardization. It is $20 per hour. It is minimum wage. Regardless of where you go, if you don't want the job, you go. Someone else will come and do the job and even be better than you. And more hours and less pay and more bills. You cannot find someone who has stayed in US for 20 years, 15 years, having this notion of basking in the sun or visiting friends. No time for that, because you are in a system that is demanding you more from you, and you don't have options but to force yourself to work. Unlike in Africa, weekend you can say, I want to go and see my friends. After work, maybe the system in Africa is 8 hours a day. Then during the night, it is less activities. In US, it is working throughout. The more you work, the more money you earn. And the more money you earn, the more bills you pay. People are selling their properties in Africa to go to US for better life. Who told you get better life in US? Who told you? You get a better life in South Africa? Who told you? Because South Africa, I don't count it as Africa. It is having the European standards. And the way they do things, that is not Africa totally. The way they behave, the way they do things, they're the same more or less like black Americans. We don't want you here for this reason. So, you speak English, they look at you. Where are you from? I think you're not one of us. These are the things you have to go through when you decide to get out of your comfort zone where your people are. And it is a narrative that it cannot be told by any other person but me and you. Frankly speaking, we need to engage in deeper hostile debate whereby we need to reverse the maze created by the Western perception in regards to green pastures will make our lives better. This is something that is, it's obvious. If they want to make videos about Africa, they make videos of poverty, child dying of hunger, malnutrition, ravaged scenarios and geographical areas. This is not the narrative we should tell to the people of the world. That's why we are counter-interacting and counter-attacking this scenario, so that these brain drain and migration of our people from the continent to go to those places where they are forcing their identity and they have a crisis. If you know this is a gem or it has made you happy, you can give me a like and comment below, because I'm trying my best to prove that podcasting is the only way we can reach out to our dwindling population, mentality taken away, washed and tainted by the places where they're trying to go and craft their identity. It's so serious and sad. You have seen what's happening in Arabia, Mediterranean Sea. Look at the boats ferrying thousands and thousands of our African brothers and sisters to go to Europe to craft a good life there, where you have to struggle with a system that doesn't want you there. It doesn't want you there, that system. It doesn't. And the reason why you keep on going there is because you want green pastures. You can do it better here, where you are, in Africa. In case you just want to go for vacation in Europe or those places, if you afford it, it's better. But the rules and regulations are draconian, and you will not make it. It punches my heart so bad when I try to think about it. Have a good day, guys. That is just a thought, and I do hope it's a gem. I want to see your subscription. Lucky is you. Good day.